James Gunn confirms Superman will release in the USA and China on July 11, 2025, with a new teaser poster for Chinese fans. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Before the DC Universe was rebooted under the leadership of James Gunn, Zack Snyder had big and ambitious plans for his version of the DC Extended Universe. He was all set to expand the Justice League saga, and interestingly, one of those ideas also included adapting the Flashpoint storyline. Zack Snyder may not be at the helm of the DC Extended Universe, but his impact and popularity are still at an all-time high. The iconic filmmaker is known for his bold storytelling and stunning direction, and he has movies such as Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and his version of Justice League under his belt. But after James Gunn and Peter Safran took over, his vision was cut short, but left plenty of what-ifs. One of which involved Flashoint Batman. Now, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who was set to take on the role, has revealed a major behind-the-scenes detail. In this version, Bruce Wayne dies, and his father, Thomas Wayne, becomes a much darker and more violent Batman. Moreover, actor Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who briefly appeared as Thomas Wayne in Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, recently confirmed that he was almost returned to play Flashpoint. In an interview via Den of Geek, he shared that the legendary filmmaker had plans to do more movies. It's a famous comic book arc in which the Flash changes the past and creates a major alternate universe with major changes, including a different version of Batman. He continued, "But it was the first time that Lauren and I met. I remember meeting her for the first time and she had just started The Walking Dead, and I was a huge fan. The idea was, truthfully, that Zack was going to do more movies, and that I think that there was a time when Flashpoint Batman would have seen these two characters in a much bigger role. We never got a chance to do that, unfortunately." Before they became famous for their roles as Negan and Maggie in The Walking Dead, Dead City, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohan had a brief but iconic appearance in the DCU. That's right, both the actors played the role of Thomas and Martha Wayne in Zack Snyder's Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Not only this, but he also detailed that both he and his Walking Dead co-star Lauren Cohan, aka Martha Wayne, were originally cast with a long-term idea in mind. Unfortunately, Snyder's exit from the DCU meant those plans never happened. While 2023's The Flash included elements of the Flashpoint storyline and brought back Michael Keaton's Batman, Morgan's version of the character never made it to the screen. Fans of Snyder's vision still wonder what his version of Flashpoint could have looked like, with Jeffrey Dean Morgan suiting up as a more brutal, alternate Batman in a darker DC timeline. Also, he bombarded Cohan with questions because she had just started The Walking Dead, and he was already a fan. He added, "Their scene, which shows the murder of Bruce Wayne's parents, is one of the most pivotal moments in Batman's origin." Interestingly, it was also the first time Morgan and Cohan met each other in real life. In an interview via CBR, Morgan recalled that they filmed the scene in Chicago on an extremely cold night. "I remember peppering Lauren Cohan with all sorts of questions because she had just started The Walking Dead the year before. We were also both on Supernatural. I had done Supernatural on the first season. She came in the second season. We never got to work together. We met in Chicago, shooting the Thomas and Martha Wayne scene, which was super cool." Though short, their appearance left a lasting impression, not just on fans, but on the actors themselves. And they still look back fondly on their time as Batman's parents in the DCU. Releasing Superman simultaneously in the USA and China on July 11, 2025, reflects Warner Bros. And DC Studios' confidence in the film's universal appeal. China, one of the world's largest film markets, has shown significant enthusiasm for superhero films, with past DC entries like Aquaman grossing over $290 million in 2018. Via Forbes, James Gunn has set the stage for a global celebration of the Man of Steel, announcing that Superman will hit theaters in both the USA and China on July 11, 2025. This synchronized release marks a bold move for the DC Universe's first film, aiming to unite fans worldwide in experiencing Clark Kent's latest adventure. Alongside this news, Gunn and the cast shared an international teaser poster tailored for Chinese audiences, amplifying the excitement for David Corenswet's debut as the iconic superhero. As anticipation builds for this reboot, this dual-release strategy and the film's fresh take are shaping up to redefine Superman for a new era. The international teaser poster, shared by James Gunn on X, featuring Chinese text and Corenswet in the classic Superman pose, was unveiled to cater specifically to Chinese fans, signaling a culturally tailored marketing push. This move also underscores Gunn's vision as co-CEO of DC Studios to make the DCU a truly global franchise from the outset. This culturally tailored marketing, paired with the involvement of DC Studios and distributor Warner Bros. Pictures, shows a deliberate effort to connect with China's massive fanbase, setting the stage for what could be a record-breaking box office opening for the DC Universe's first film under Gunn's leadership. Gunn's decision aligns with a growing trend in Hollywood to synchronize major releases, minimizing piracy risks and maximizing global buzz. The film boasts a stellar cast, including Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, and Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern Guy Gardner. Set to kick off the rebooted DC Universe, the movie aims to blend classic Superman values with modern storytelling. Via Entertainment Weekly, James Gunn has championed this vision since taking the helm at DC Studios in 2022 alongside Peter Safran. With filming wrapped and post-production in full swing as of May 2025, the synchronized release ensures fans in both markets experience this fresh take together. Directed and written by James Gunn, Superman, previously titled Superman, Legacy, introduces a younger Clark Kent at 25 years old, played by David Corenswet. Unlike Henry Cavill's brooding take in the DC Extended Universe, Gunn's version promises a more hopeful and grounded hero, balancing his Kryptonian roots with his life as a Daily Planet journalist. This isn't an origin story but a fresh chapter for Man of Steel, emphasizing Superman's core values of truth, justice, and humanity in a world that sees these ideals as old-fashioned. Man of Steel, too, could have explored the best way to write a Superman story by not giving him a monster to beat, but a situation he can't control. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Appearing on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, Christopher McQuarrie talked about what his Superman film with Henry Cavill would have looked like, the director having worked with the latter on Mission Impossible Fallout. He said, "Fans were looking forward to a slew of projects in the DCU. After Henry Cavill's return as Superman in Black Adam, fans were sure that Man of Steel 2 was all but announced. While the sequel might not have seen the light of day, the idea for the narrative of the film was definitely something that fans would find intriguing, and it could still make its way on screen under James Gunn's DCU." Christopher McQuarrie had some pretty nice ideas about how his Superman film would have played out with Henry Cavill, should he have had the opportunity to make Man of Steel 2. The idea struck McQuarrie when he figured out how similar the characters of Ethan Hunt and Superman were, despite them being from different universes. There are a lot of ways to introduce drama in the story of Superman beyond just giving him a bigger hero to punch. Fans already saw what happens to the character when he is forced to kill, like when he did so with Zod, so it can be stated that Christopher McQuarrie was onto something. The first 5 minutes of the movie was a setup after which you knew exactly what made Superman tick, and exactly what Superman was most afraid of, and why Superman